You know that New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who's a liberal Democrat, he just came out, he said, this immigration crisis, this is going to destroy New York City. And this is after Eric Adams had said for a long time, we're a sanctuary city, diversity is our strength, everyone's welcome here. But then they started coming after Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis sent buses up to New York, and all of a sudden, Eric Adams changed his tune. Well, now that Eric Adams changed his tune, even the liberals on The View, who are as establishment lib as they get, even they, after years of diversity is our strength and no one is illegal and sanctuary cities are great, they're changing their tune too.
This issue will destroy New York City, the city we knew we're about to lose.
But frankly, I think we need to find, and we've dealt with this before. I lived in Miami. I was an immigrant in Miami in the 80s. You'll remember when we had the Mariel boat lift. Yes. 125,000 Cubans came in a matter of 6 months. It puts tremendous stress on a city, on a community, on the social services. They need to be resettled elsewhere.
They need to spread out. We're this massive country.
Well, and it's only going to get worse with global warming and climate change because people can't live in certain parts of this world.
And don't forget about this totally unrelated boogeyman. We got to get that in here to every story. But listen to what Anna Navarro is a huge lib. But she goes, look, but they got it. We got to spread these immigrants out. We can't, come on, these immigrants, they're going to destroy New York City. Well, hold on. I thought the immigrants were our strength. I thought we're a nation of immigrants. New York's a city of, the more immigrants, the better. But then Eric Adams, mayor of New York, changed his tune, and now all the other liberals are changing their tune too. Why? Because Anna Navarro knows that she's on the same team as Eric Adams. And Eric Adams flipped, and so now the rest of the team is going to flip. This is a concept in political theory that the political boils down to a distinction between friends and enemies. This is something that isn't often spoken about explicitly because it was articulated most clearly by a political philosopher named Carl Schmitt. And Carl Schmitt had the misfortune of being a German in the 1930s, like Heidegger. And so he's, kind of been canceled. But even Leo Strauss, for instance, another great political philosopher, largely exonerates Carl Schmitt of a lot of the nasty charges against him. And so I think it's fair to mention this point because the point he's making here is obviously true, that the political boils down to very practical things. It's not just pie in the sky, guys. It's not just abstractions. It boils down to, are you on my team or are you on the other team? Well, if you're on my team, I'm going to show you more grace. If you're on the other team, we're going to try to drive you out of the public square. And there are a lot of squishy lib types who bemoan the fact that politics has become so tribal these days. Politics has always been tribal. Partisan politics has always been partisan. That's what a party is. And this notion that there's a distinction between friends and enemies, it actually goes much, much deeper than some political differences. Democrats and Republicans, left and right. It's a basic question. Ronald Reagan used to say that we have no enemies, only opponents here. And so he'd always talk about his Democrat opponents. And there's something really beautifully true about that, because if you call your domestic adversaries your enemies, what you're doing is saying that there's no cohesive political unit here with the right to declare war, with the right to declare who really is an enemy, with the right to really move the entire body politic. And so I think it's really beautiful that Ronald Reagan tried to avoid that. Increasingly, though, you hear the left talk about us as enemies, and you hear the right talk about the left as enemies. That tells you about a breakdown in the political order. Right now, go to proviahair.com/Knowles. Are you one of the millions of American men and women dealing with premature hair thinning and hair loss? Well, maybe you're scared about inheriting that thinning look because it runs in the family. Finally, there is a real solution that delivers on its promise without the harsh side effects, unwanted chemicals, and unpleasant smells. Provia Hair Care uses a safe, natural ingredient called Procapil to effectively target the three main causes of premature hair thinning and loss. Provia supports healthy scalp circulation and delivers nourishing nutrients to strengthen hair follicles and anchor them to your scalp. Provia guarantees more hair on your head than in the shower drain. Provia is effective for men and women of any age and safe on colored, treated, and styled hair. Provia works guaranteed or 100% of your money back. It is that easy. You know, I have relied on my hair a lot in my public life. Right now, new customers save over 50% off Previa's introductory package at PreviaHair.com/Knowles. See results for yourself right now. Do not wait. PreviaHair.com/Knowles. President Trump, the chief rival to Joe Biden right now, has just received a really, really big endorsement. This from South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem.
It is my honor to present to you the man in the arena. He is a man of significance. He is the leader, the fighter that our country needs. He has my full and complete endorsement for President of the United States of America. I will do everything I can to help him win and save this country. Ladies and gentlemen, the 45th and the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
There you have it. I generally have not covered endorsements. I mentioned early on when DeSantis was getting some congressmen because they were some of the first endorsements that he had gotten, people who decided to turn on Trump and go for another guy. I haven't really covered many of the endorsements since then. The reason I'm covering this one, the reason that this one is significant is because Kristi Noem is not just a Republican governor. She was a potential presidential candidate. Kristi Noem, like Glenn Youngkin in Virginia, was obviously considering running for president herself. She set herself up to do that during COVID. She was playing kind of coy with it after COVID, right up until a couple days ago, I guess. Now she's decided that she's going to endorse Trump, which to me says not only that she thinks that Trump is the best candidate, which is explicitly what she's saying, but what it means is she believes that Trump just is going to be the nominee. And so she thinks not only is it her interest to get on Trump's side in this battle between him and DeSantis and Vivek and Chris Christie or whoever, but she thinks it's in her interest not to run against him. Trust me, if Kristi Noem thought that Donald Trump had any weakness right now and that she would have a shot at the presidency, she would be running. Inside every governor is a president just waiting to get out. Some uncharitable people have asked how many presidents are waiting inside of Chris Christie, which that's not very nice. That's not a nice thing to say at all. But Kristi Noem wants to be president and she's not going to run and she is going to endorse this guy because she thinks, in another sign of something we've been talking about for weeks, that the presidential primary is, if not over, pretty severely tilted in the direction of Donald John Trump. Boy, what a great clip that was. Now, make sure that you ring that bell. Subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. See you next time.